Hi ladies and gentlemen, I hope you're doing well today. Today we're going to be looking at which measure of center best represents a set of data. So I have 3 examples here that we're going to go through, and we're going to go through and find the mean, the median, and the mode for each example, and then decide which one represents the data in the best way. So for our first example here, we have the number of pieces of candy eaten in one day. So we have 2, 8, 4, 6, 2, 6, and 7. So let's first find the mean. We're going to add up all those numbers and then divide by the number of numbers, which is 7. So let's find the sum quick. And when we add up all those numbers, the sum is 35. And there are 7 numbers there, so we're going to divide by 7. So the mean here is 5. All right, next we're going to find the median. So I want to order these from least to greatest. So 2, 2, 4, 2 6s, and a 7. Nope, I'm missing one number, and an 8 at the very end. Okay, so I'm going to cross one out from the left, one from the right, left, right, and 6 is our median. And then for our mode, it's the one that occurs the most often. It would be 2 and 6. So to decide which measure of center best represents the data, let's take a look at the mode first. There are 2 values here. It wouldn't make sense here to choose the mode because 2 is the lowest value, 6 is kind of somewhere in the middle, and there are 2 values, so it's hard to determine which of the modes we should decide on. So I would say the mode is not a good choice here. Now let's take a look at our median. It's the middle value. 6 seems to be a little on the higher end. It doesn't really account for the 2s on the bottom or the 4. So I would shy away from using the median as well. And the mean here is 5. That is when we equally distribute things. Let's say we put all the candy all in one big pile and then each person takes some pieces out. That 5 means that each person ate 5 pieces. So I would say in this case the mean is an appropriate choice. Okay, our next one, the number of miles biked each day last week. So we have 12, 16, 14, 108, 10, 15, and 12. So this person maybe decided to bike out to Montauk or something. And then the other days maybe they biked locally. So again, let's find the mean, the median, and the mode here. So I'm going to add up all those numbers. And the sum is 187. And again, we're dividing by 7 because there were 7 days. And we get approximately, because I'm going to end up rounding this, 26.7 miles ridden. Okay, now let's find the median. I'm going to order them from least to greatest. So we have 10, 12, another 12. Then we have 14, 15, 16, and finally 108. All right, I'm going to cross one from the left, one from the right. Left, right, and our median here is 14. And then our mode, let's look at the ones that occur the most often. It seems like there's only one value. It's 12 that occurs twice. Right, so now let's decide which one is most appropriate. So I'm going to start with the mean here, this 26.7. Since there is an outlier of 108, our sum increases significantly, which brings our mean up significantly. All the other values are between 10 and 16. So that 26.7 is not a good representation of the other 6 days of miles that the person rode. So I would say the mean is not a good choice when the outlier is included. The mode here of 12, again, let me erase the data so we could see it. 12 is on the lower end of the 6 days, right? We have 10, 14, 16, and 15 that aren't really represented very well. So I would say the mode here is not a good choice. The mean, however, is a good choice. It's in the middle of really the 10 to 16 values, and it doesn't take into account that outlier, and that's okay. In this case, 6 out of the 7 values are very close to that 14, so I would say the median here is the best case when there is an outlier involved. And our last example here, spelling test scores, these were all out of 10, so we have an 8, a 9, an 8, 9, 9, 8, 8, 9, and 9. Again, let's find the mean, so we'll add them up. So the sum here is 77, and there are 9 values. And we're going to round it. It's approximately 8.6 or 8.5 repeating. All right, and then the median, if we order these from least to greatest, we have 4 8s and 5 9s. Okay, so our middle value, when I cross them out one at a time, left to right, we end up with 9. And 9 occurs 5 times, 8 occurs 4 times, so the mode here is 9. So in this case, I would say that the measure of center that best represents the data here would be the 9, because it is the median and the mode. It's the middle value and it's the one that occurs the most often. Now, you may argue that, well, the 8 and 5 repeating, or 8.6, does include the smaller values. You could argue that as well. You could understand both points of view there. There is a general rule of thumb, and let me just show that. This is the next slide here. So generally, which measure of center is best? So typically, we would use the mean when the data is spread out and you want to find an average of the values. Let's say there's no outlier involved. You would choose the mean. Typically, the mean is the best measure of center then. However, when there is an outlier involved, typically we're going to choose the median, the middle value, because that's usually the middle of all of the values that help us figure out which one the best measure of center is. And then the mode, sometimes we'll choose the mode, depends on if it shares with the median or if we have a big cluster of data that's around 1 or 2 values. So that way we would choose the mode. All right, if you have questions, please email me through Google Classroom or join us on the daily call. We'll talk to you soon. Have a good day. Bye-bye.